Okay, I'm going to go through our Teensy project. We've had some good progress. So let's go over first what we have in front of us. We have a breadboard, which is a way to connect circuits. And basically they're in groups of 5 here. So anything across in the same row gets connected. And then there's power strips down the side. So this is my ground coming in to connect to the Teensy ground here. And this red wire here is powering positive 3.5 volts, so I can pick that up off of this bar. So that's power coming in, and then we have 2 circuits that are working. We have an LED that you see blinking. The LED is going to get powered by this green wire. We'll show in the software what port that is. It comes down to this row, and in the same row is a resistor. You always want a resistor in front of an LED, or it'll just burn itself out, and the LED is blinking. And then the other pin of the LED is just one row down, and that goes back to ground. That completes that circuit. And then the more interesting one, and every time that LED goes off, we're checking the voltage going through our slider, which is over here. And that is a variable resistor that changes when you slide up and down. So what we have going on there is similarly green. This green here is coming off the power bar. So that's going in, 3.5 volts is going into this far pin on the fader. The yellow pin next to it goes down to our signal, and then the blue pin here is going to digital ground. So depending on how far you slide up and down, you'll send more signal to the yellow wire or more to the blue wire digital ground if you come down. So that's a volume fader. So let's quickly look at our code here. Just do this from the phone. We're using an analog to digital converter, so we include that library. In the next row, here, we create the object. We have some variables that we set up for the LED, which is going to be the port number, and for the fader volts, we start with 0. With Teensey's, there's this mode of setting up the code. So we have a pin mode with the LED, and we're outputting on that port, and then we have a serial connection here so that we can write to a console. And then here's the loop that just runs in a Teensy all the time. We basically analog write to the port, and 255 is very bright. And then we read, analog read on A0, the other port, and get those volts into this variable. Then we print that variable out to the console, and then we wait, and then we turn the light off, and then we wait. So every time the light blinks, we're reading the voltage here, and that's showing up on the console. And we see there it's 1017. If I move it down, we see that it drops down 993, 994. And if I move it up all the way, we see that it goes back up to 1020. Not exactly sure I should be reversing wires, and it should go the other way, but it's definitely reading the voltage. And then the idea there, it went down a lot further as I moved it down to the bottom. So that's like off at the bottom, so that makes sense. Then there's these, the idea is that we have this all, the Teensy Sports MIDI, and that we hook that up with DAW, the Ableton DAW, and that when we adjust the slider, it will adjust what's going on in Ableton.